Yeah, good morning. So we will be doing the Uddhav Gita. This is the last chapter, and it's a Krishna is going to give us a wrap up about this whole Uddhav Gita. So we are going to understand about the importance of Uddhav Gita. So let us see what he has said and what he means by the total summing up of this Uddhav Gita. We are doing chapter 24 of the Uddhav Gita, the last message of Sri Krishna. We are starting at verse 23 onwards. Here I have given you, in a synthetic as well as analytic way, a complete epitome of the philosophy of Brahma, which is unintelligible even to the gods. Think about what Krishna is talking about. The knowledge of Brahma and the way Brahma is can never be understood by anyone, not even the gods. So if we take up all the demigods, that is Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, downwards to, Indra Dev, to all the goddesses, everyone, they also don't know. The knowledge is very, very rare. It is one in a gazillion that a person may have an understanding of Brahma. So here Krishna is talking about giving this knowledge in two ways. One is a synthetic way and one is an analytical way. So we have covered both this. How many of you have understood? I think absolutely none. Nobody. Then why give this knowledge? See, this knowledge has a very great significance to our life. We have always thought of ourselves as an individual person. Every person who is listening in believes he is the one who is having a name, a form, existing in this world, so on and so forth. Whereas the truth is, he is just a very tiny portion of the divine. The body and all its parts, that is the senses, mind, everything, is only a figment of imagination. It is creation of Maya. It is Krishna's Maya that creates this whole thing. Whereas we get carried away by it so much that it is impossible for any human being to get out of it. Forget the human beings, even the gods cannot get out of it. I will give you examples of gods who got totally messed up because of this. Take the case of Brahmaji. Brahmaji couldn't recognize Krishna when he came down to see him. He tried to test Krishna. And he said, oh, who is this small boy who is, trying to take over this entire village? I am Brahmaji, I am the greatest. He was unable to do so. He tried to kidnap all the children over there plus the animals so that the village will feel its, that paucity. It will say, oh my God, what happened? And then the power of Brahma can be established. So in that 1 minute of Brahma, he took away everybody and brought them back. But that 1 minute is equivalent to 1 year of humankind. But nobody felt the shortage because Krishna created as many entities out of his body. The cows and the animals and the children who were lost, the gwalas, the gopis. He created them. So Brahmaji couldn't understand. Mahavishnu in his form of a boar, after finishing his act on earth, was so attracted towards the female boar that he was completely lost. And he had babies. And he refused to go back to the heaven, saying, I don't want to go back. Because this life is wonderful. Isn't that what we all do? We get so carried away by family, children, wife, husband. It is so strange. These are the same people who don't give anything to these people. I mean, they don't give a damn. You can understand the word. Whereas a person gets so entangled in that body. So finally Shivaji has to come, and with his trident he has to kill the boar and tell the Lord, please now forget about all this. Let's go back to the heavens. Then there is Shivaji himself. He couldn't recognize the form of Vishnu in the form of a woman. During the time of the Manthan, the churning of the ocean, a beautiful woman came out. Mohini, the avatar. And Shivji got so attracted towards her that he ran after her, not realizing that it is the Lord himself. And then his story of getting totally upset when his wife died and doing the Tandav. That's another story. Every god also gets deluded by the Maya of the Lord, of Sri Krishna himself. Krishna tries to explain these scriptures, this book, and is telling us what exactly is this Brahma, the unmanifest. But it's the toughest thing to know. Nobody has the knowledge. Only Krishna himself can say what it is. Rest, the world absolutely has no inkling, no knowledge. That is why it says, the philosophy of Brahma, which is unintelligible even to the gods. Even the gods have no clue of what Brahma is all about. So what about petty human beings? We are not gods. Petty human beings, they come from the earth, There are no special beings anywhere who has the knowledge of Brahma. So now let us move to the next verse. So Uddhav Gita chapter 24 verse 24. I have repeatedly told you about knowledge with clear reasoning. Knowing this, a man has his doubts dispelled and attains liberation. If you have this knowledge and understanding, all your doubts are going to get dispelled. They will totally go away. And you will become liberated. This knowledge which Krishna has given with absolutely clear reasoning. Now clear reasoning for whom? For Uddhava. But Uddhava has absolutely no clue, let me assure you. Human beings have absolutely no understanding. Even if the thing is kept in front of their nose, there will be no understanding. The idea that a person thinks that that object is so real. Let us say there is a family, and in the family there are husband, wife, that is parents, and then children, maybe grandchildren. The family is so engrossed in each other. Their little world, their tiny world is so small, Me, my wife, my children, my grandchildren, my house, my car, my this, my that, my properties, my gold, that's it. Beyond that, their world doesn't exist. The next periphery are relatives. My brothers, my sisters, uncles, aunts, neighbors, friends, colleagues, that's it. This is all the world. And they are so engrossed in it that they have no clue of the true value of Brahma. Brahma takes a form and walks amongst them, and yet they will not have any clue. Getting totally absorbed and engrossed with themselves, Sri Krishna walks among people, and then no one has any clue or understanding of it. Because the world of Maya is so enticing, catches them by their throat, and they are lost in it. Gods also have no clue. Gods also have families, by the way. Brahmaji has his own family, and he is always engrossed in his family, plus he has this job to do. Vishnu, he is engrossed in his own family also, and he is totally lost in it. He is lost, he is sleeping. Then we come to Shiva. He also has his own family. He's got a group of his own. Like in Vaikuntha, they have, people over there. Likewise, Shiva has his dutas. He is lost in his own sons, his wife, the Himalayas where he stays. There is hardly anything, though they are in meditation and all that, I understand. But knowledge of Brahma is minuscule. There is nothing there. Krishna is openly telling you. Attaining liberation is important. Do you think these gods are liberated? None of them are liberated. None. And that is why, if you know this knowledge, then you will get, all doubts will go away and you will become liberated. So we go to the next verse. We are doing Uddhav Gita, chapter 24, verse 25. He who understands your questions, which I have adequately answered, as well as the discourse attained, the eternal supreme Brahma, which is secret even in the Vedas. Even the Vedas, which are the framework of the entire creation, have very little knowledge for anybody's understanding. You can keep on saying the Vedas, you can by heart them, you can say them, you can store them in your computers, in your files, you name it, in your storage devices, but nothing is going to come out of it. Well, what are you going to understand? The knowledge of Brahma is hidden inside. It is a codex. Nobody has any clue about it. The Vedas themselves are very secretive. You go and read the Vedas, you are going to get a shock of your life. Oh, this one is doing that, that one is doing that, Agni Dev is doing this, and Varun Dev is doing that, and Vayu is doing that. What all things are written in that? And you will wonder, what? Is this what Vayu does? I don't think Vayu does this kind of thing. And this understanding is never there. If it is, you see, those who try to understand the Vedas are completely crazy. They will never understand. It is an impossible knowledge. And in that knowledge, to understand Brahma, out of question. Nobody has the clue about Brahmanyana. Because Brahmanyana is impossible to achieve. There are no Brahmanyanis. Amongst the gods also there are no Brahmanyanis. If you take Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, in all their retinue also, nobody has the knowledge. Look at the verses which Krishna is talking about. The truth has to be understood. Human beings cannot have this understanding. It's only when Krishna takes a form and comes on earth that he can impart a little, this much amount, a pinch of it, of knowledge. And that too, hardly anybody understands. And that is why he says, Uddhava has asked questions. So he says, he who understands your questions, which Krishna has adequately answered. He says, I have answered everything. in this discourse, he attains, if you understand this discourse, then you will attain the eternal Brahma, which is secret even in the Vedas. So we go to the next one. So we are doing chapter 24, verse 26 of the Uddhav Gita. To one who fully communicates it to my devotees, I of my own accord give myself, for thereby he imparts the highest knowledge. Here in the first case he has said, gods also have no knowledge about Brahma. Then he says, I have told you this knowledge. If you have an understanding of this subject, that person becomes the supreme guru, the absolute master. Then what is this master's job? He is giving this understanding now. Only those divine masters of this knowledge of the Brahma, they can impart this highest knowledge. Krishna has given this knowledge to everyone in this scripture. This is a part of the Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, the one which was recited in the last days of Parikshit by Sukdev. So he has said this. And later on, Sutta Goswami and all his other disciples heard it. This knowledge is critical. It's very, very important. So he says, if you have an understanding and if you have got even an inkling of this knowledge, just a little dot of it, it is very important to impart it to others. Krishna has given this knowledge with his own accord. He has not been, forced into this knowledge. He just said, I am going to tell you these answers. So he has been gracious enough to tell us these answers. And he has said those words. Now, all this has got written down in a scripture. So let us see what he says further to that. We are doing Uddhav Gita, chapter 24, verse 27. He who daily reads out this exceedingly sacred and purifying episode is purified by showing me with the lamp of knowledge to others, just by recitation, just by reading it out. How many of you read? Nobody reads. Once the satsang is over, people close the books and then they keep it away. Nobody touches the books again. It's a rarity when you find it in your library or somewhere lying around and you open a page and you say, I did this, That is not how things are done. It's a daily activity. You have to read it on a regular basis. I have not found a single person who can stand up to this. So, Krishna is saying, if you were to read these things, this daily discourse, like kind of a thing, regularly discourse, and purifying episodes, he is purified himself. Purifying himself is so important. I know this knowledge may be tough or difficult to understand, but at least make a point of doing one episode, maybe listening to it in a podcast or seeing the YouTube fully end to end. Paying attention is very important. Human beings don't pay attention at all. They are lost in their world. The brain is not able to grasp. I will tell you, there was an experiment conducted in the United States by a university, by this great professor. So what they did was, they took a sample of people, thousands I think, and then they showed them images of a person, of a thing, something. And those images were very, very fast. They came and they went, they came and they went. Alright? And while this was going on, suddenly in the middle, they put a music. And they tried to find out what is it that a person does. They found that till the time the pictures were going on and they were going so fast in front of them, that the brain was trying to focus on the pictures. So a certain part of the brain lit up. All the, they had all those sensors in the brains, and a certain part of the brain lit up. And suddenly, when the music was introduced, that part of the brain started becoming dull, and the other part of the brain started becoming brighter. And when the person focuses on the music, on the sound, he loses concentration in the eyes, in the visuals. When he focuses on the visual, his concentration on the sound goes away. So he can blank out the sound if he wants to, if he focuses only on one. Human beings don't have this capability. As you progress in your age, by the time you are 30, 40 years old, this focus and this concentration goes away. By the time you are 40 and 50, the focus has become minimal, absolutely minimal. You are not in a position to do anything. Forget about reading books. A person is not in a position to even sit at one go and read. But if you ask a 20-year-old to read a book, that person can read from end to end if the person focuses on it. A person who is 30 years old is not able to focus at all. His mind is aflutter, going in all directions. So he is going to pay little attention. He may read a page, after that he'll drop it. And then he may not even come back to it. By the time you are 40 and 50, you may read one paragraph. You try to focus on it. Focus is not there. Then you suddenly feel hungry. Maybe your wife or someone calls you. You go in that direction. The book lies open over there. Then you come back and you try to focus again on it. It doesn't work. If people say they are able to complete a book, it is an achievement. By the time they are 60, they have completely become dodos. There is no focus in anything, neither in the visual cortex nor in the oral region. They cannot focus on music. They cannot focus on objects. Their focus is gone. And here Krishna is telling us, you need to focus. When you read something, you have to focus. You have to put all your energies into it. You cannot be going off the tangent and thinking of something else while reading or writing or whatever that you do. So here he says, he who reads out daily. Daily means what? There are no holidays. Don't say today is Saturday, tomorrow is Sunday. I don't want to read just now because it's my off day. There are no off days. Do you give off days to your breathing? No. Then why are you giving off days? Just reading one page doesn't matter. Or one verse is more than enough, but at least that much you got to do. See, I have been giving 1 hour satsangs now. People find it so difficult to focus on it. I have people who will go to my page in 1 second, in that 1 minute of theirs, they have they are doing me a favor by liking my posts. And those are major satsangs. And those are major chunks of knowledge that is there in that. And they seem to like everything at one go, where you can make out how fake they are. Nobody has liked it because they can't focus. Nobody reads things, nobody hears them perfectly. Concentration is not there. They are lost in some other world of theirs. If you can do this every single day in clockwork precision, even if you are 80 years of age, you will be the most adept devotee of Krishna, let me tell you this much. Because then your brains would be working till the last minute. You see, the concentration is so important. Your focus is so important. When people focus on the road when they are driving and somebody keeps on talking and chatting with them, that becomes disturbing. See, the idea is that. So here it is so important that you focus and you read. And when you do this on a very regular basis, your brain will light up. In most of the cases, let me also tell you something else which came out from this experiment. This was in 1965, this experiment was conducted. And later on, the psychology department and all the other, the medical, this, that, so many departments which were working on it. Even today it is there. They found that in some cases, the idea was like this, why do you do this? They found that people, those who are blind, their hearing is good. And those whose hearing is bad, they have very good eyesight or their taste or the sense of smell. Why is it? Because one part of the brain closes itself. The neurons stop firing in that direction. So if you don't have the vision, the neurons in that area completely shut down. They transfer their power to the neurons of the other kind, wherever the ears are hearing or the nose is smelling or the, those kind of things. They go in that direction. That is why if you want to be totally on your, absolutely in perfect condition, even if you are 80 years old, you need to read, you need to hear, you need to do all kinds of things, keeping yourself absolutely fit and fine. Please remember this. Your eyesight, your hearing, both have to be given the stimulus. That means a daily reading activity is a must. I every day give news news and views and lot of things. And when I am there with people around, they will be getting a whole load of information, rather an overload of information. And it is connected to literally all the fields. So it is not just necessary only to see, read. To hear also is important. Yesterday I was standing outside a court, a place, for many hours. I had my headphones on and I was continuously listening. Number of podcasts, many of them. Sometimes I was reading, sometimes I was listening. So when I was reading, no listening. And when I was listening, no reading. Because you have to focus and concentrate on what you are doing. Every moment is precious. You can't be sitting and just, what are we going to do today? What am I going to do? What are things? That kind of waste of time that a human being does, we should not do. If I have to tell you the stories of Sri Krishna, every moment of his life, how he lived, the knowledge of Brahma also will not be sufficient, because that knowledge itself is vast, and then to tell his stories is going to be amazing. It is impossible to know. You may think of him as, this person, he was only there during the wars. After that, what did he do? So everything has to be done properly. That is why he says. So let us move to the next verse. We are doing chapter 24 of the Uddhav Gita, verse 28. The man who calmly listens to it every day with faith, cherishing a strong devotion to me, is not fettered by work. If you were to listen to this Uddhav Gita on a very regular basis, literally one episode per day, not necessary to have 1 hour, maybe you can just take one verse and listen to it. Your work will drop off. See, a man who calmly listens to it every day with faith. During Krishna's time, there might not have been podcasts, but today there are. Listening is important. Seeing is important. Reading is important, isn't it? Likewise, Krishna is telling, in the previous verse he says reading it. In this verse he is saying listening to it. Do you understand? You may think these are some stupid verses. Oh, I read and I listen sometimes. No. Regularly. Every day with faith. Can you make this a point? I am telling you this. I have done Uddhav Gita from starting till end now. There are just a few verses remaining. If you were to listen to them, because they are going to be in the podcast as well as the videos also. There is a YouTube and there is a podcast. Listen to one verse also. Literally in daily fashion. Repeat it back again. Doesn't matter. Even if you have to repeat the verse 10 times also doesn't matter. Listen to it calmly. Every day with faith. Cherishing a strong devotion for Krishna. Cherish this devotion to Krishna. Devotion to Krishna is so important. And when you do that, you will not be fettered by work. He is not fettered by work. So whatever work that you may do also, it happens naturally. There is nothing in this world that can hold you back. And reaching Krishna becomes very, very easy. But you have to have this devotion and faith for Krishna. And listen to it. So we go to the next verse, Uddhav Gita, chapter 24, verse 29. Friend Uddhava, have you rightly comprehended the Brahma? And has your infatuation and the grief which was in your mind left you? Exactly the question that I have to ask you. You have been listening to this satsang. I don't have anybody to, just a few people, whatever they might be. Those who listen to it in the future maybe, or those who are able to hear it or see it in the future. For them also it goes. If you have listened to it carefully, or if you have seen it, then what happens? Then, have you understood it properly? Because understanding is very important. Then all this infatuation with the material world, the thing which we keep on getting infatuated by. What is this life all about? Why am I over here? Do I really need to do this? I will be dead one day. Why bother so much about this kind of things? I've got a family to take care of. That is more important to me. Very strange part in my life is when I stop doing satsangs with people, they do not connect back with me. They think that is it, finished. No, listening is important. Connecting is important. I am going to tell you I am not going to be there. Do you think that is how it is going to be? No, it is important to write, read, listen, have a call once in a while. Talk to me, doesn't matter. Even if it is for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, really doesn't matter. Once in a while do that. Don't just forget about it and then it's not going to help you in any which way. You have to get back to it. So getting back is important. And that is why he says that infatuation which is there, even for the scripture. I read the Uddhav Gita, I read this Bhagavad Gita. No, yeah, I did. No. Don't say those words. You might have done. But are you regular in it? You're breathing, eating, drinking, going to the loo, everything you're doing on a regular basis. Why this is not so regular? Because you think this is not important? Because you give so much importance to your body? Your body parts have more importance than Krishna. The soul inside of you. You don't give importance to that soul. You are so much engrossed in your material world. When you are with Krishna, when you are doing this devotional service unto Him by reading some of His chapters, listening to these satsangs, then what happens? All your other life is being taken care of. You may have a family, don't worry. It is Krishna's job to give you money. It is Krishna's job to see that your wife or your children or your husband or whoever is taken care of. That is Krishna's job, it's not yours anymore. That is why he says, unfettered by work. That work will happen. It's literally like you're sleepwalking through the work. You may be working for some big multinational corporation also. Don't worry, you will just sail through. And where money is due, it will come to you. Your family will get taken care of. Your house will be taken care of. The whole thing, the whole environment around you. Why are you bothered so much about it? Everything gets taken care of. You just have to be devoted to Krishna. That's it. He says this. You have to have this strong devotion to me. And have that absolute faith in me. The faith is important. People don't have faith. So, when this infatuation and this grief of this world, what is going to happen tomorrow? This pandemic is growing. There is no money. The world is crumbling around me. The banks are closing down. Everything, all the problems are going to keep on cropping up. You see? Don't worry. Why are you worried so much? So this is the one. Don't bother your head about these petty issues. Krishna is going to take care of it, but you show the devotion to Him, no? Show Him that devotion, show Him that faith. One verse per day is more than enough, but at least do that much. So he's asking the question, has this infatuation and grief left you in your mind? Now we move to the next verse. This is very important for those who are listening in and reading it also. This verse has value. So kindly listen to it carefully. All those who are listening in and all those who are seeing. We are doing Uddhav Gita chapter 24 verse 30. You must not communicate this message to one who is haughty, atheistic, deceitful, unwilling to listen, wanting in devotion, and wicked. This includes your near and dear ones, including your family members. If you have a family member who is a wicked person, who is atheistic, who is haughty, who thinks no end of himself or herself, thinks that they are some mighty Lord themselves, never convey the message of Krishna to them. Please do not communicate this message to them because they are egoistic people. They don't want to listen. They are anyway going to go to hell. Why are you bothered about it? If you have your own wife or children, or your own parents, or your husbands, your relatives, friends, whoever it might be, and they are one of these, they have their nose up in the air, they think too much of themselves, they are deceitful, they are very sneaky kind of people. They'll say one thing in front of you and another thing behind you. Such kind of people, those who are unwilling to listen to, people have a habit of not even listening. So don't try to teach them. Don't try to teach them. Why do you have to teach this kind of idiots? There are lots of my devotees. I tell them don't bother to even involve your family members, please. If you are a man, don't try to involve your wife thinking that, no, she's going to get involved in this. No, no need. Or if you are a woman, then don't think that your husband is ever going to be involved in this kind of a thing. If you are a young person and if you think your parents are going to be involved, don't even bother about them. If they are this kind of people, if they are wanting in devotion to Krishna, don't even bother about them. Some people are nose up in the air. No, I am a Shiva Bhakta. Okay, let them be. Doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter. Don't be under the impression that you have to tell them something. No. You have done the Uddhav Gita. That's it, more than enough. Just keep it to yourself. You must not communicate this message to one who is haughty, atheistic. Somebody who is an atheist, don't try to make them, oh, you should know, you should learn about Krishna. No need. Deceitful. People who have deceit in their minds constantly. In front of you, they will, yeah, Krishna is very beautiful, very nice, very nice. But I believe in Tirupati Balaji. These people are not worthy of it. Don't even try to tell them. They are lost in their material world. Because all the forms of God on earth are creations of Maya. Please remember this. Whichever God that they are thinking of, these are gods which are created. These are demigods, creations of Maya only. And if they are so much keen on them, why are you trying to force them to listen to Krishna? There is no need. Krishna is very clear about this. Don't try to preach about him to anybody who is all this, unwilling to listen, wanting in devotion, and wicked person. There are lots of wicked people in this world. They have deceit in their minds. In front of your face, they will be very nice. But in their heart of heart, they are black-hearted people. Please remember that. For such kind of people, Krishna doesn't spare them. No. All those dutas are there. They will take care. Krishna doesn't even bother lifting finger for them. Now we go to the next one. We are doing Uddhav Gita, chapter 24, verse 31. You should impart it to one who is free from these defects, is devoted to the Brahmanas, dear to me, good and pure. Even to the Shudras and women, should they have devotion. You can impart this knowledge to anybody in the world. Those who are free from all these above mentioned defects. Those who are having their nose up in the air, never try to teach them. But those who are kind, compassionate, loving, caring, they care about this world. For them, you can impart this knowledge. He is devoted to the Brahmanas. Today's day, there are no Brahmanas like I told you. There are only Sant Mahatmas, like Sai Babas of this world. There may be a few of them in this world. They are saints, sages and saints. These are the only Brahmanas remaining. The rest Brahmanas are not Brahmanas at all. They are only in name. No, they are not Brahmanas. Brahmana means knower of Brahma. Just now only Krishna said, even the gods don't know Brahma. What about these petty Brahmanas who may be having those, different forms that are there around you? They are the useless people. Don't bother about them. They have no knowledge of Brahma. No. The great spiritual masters have the knowledge of Brahma. For them, if somebody is devoted to them, that means if there is a spiritual master, a guru, and the devotee of the guru is there, then for them you can impart this knowledge. Somebody who is dear to me, that means with their head and their heart, they are totally engrossed in Krishna. I met one lady once, 2-3 years ago, I think. And she was telling me how great devotee of Krishna she is. She used to make garments for Krishna. I was very happy about it. And I said, I'm very happy you are doing these things. Yeah, I go to this temple of Krishna and I make garments for him. I said, okay. And what about treating other people nicely? No. The first thing that she did was to treat the guru badly. You can't do that. You can go and make clothes for Krishna. Remember, there are tailors who make clothes. They look at a woman and they make clothes. They look at a man and they make clothes. Isn't it? They don't they? They are bothered about that man or the woman. They're designers also. All the great designers are there. They will design specifically for that person. Like there is a lady called Gal Gadot. Now you think how many people would be designing for her? A Wonder Woman. Of course. There is Deepika Padukone and there are so many other heroines here. You think there are no designers there? They will design for her. Like that they are thinking of Krishna. I am designing for Krishna. That is not devotion. You should be in love with everybody. That is what he says. They should have devotion for everybody. That means loving people around is so important. You can't have deceit. You can't have that, oh, I love Krishna. That is why I'm only focused on him. No. Krishna is this universe. The day you see Krishna in the universe, that day you will be liberated. Not before. Otherwise, you can have as much devotion as you want for that Krishna statue or Krishna himself. Doesn't matter. You are rejecting everything else. No. Here he is clear. Dear to me, good and pure. You have to be very good person and pure at heart. You cannot have this much amount of iota of deceit, doubt or anything. I constantly check on it. I deliberately put the names of people in front of others. When suppose if you meet me and there are some people you don't like in your life, I will deliberately put their names in front of you or make those people stand in front of you to see how is your reaction. Are you really good at heart? Are you really pure? You will be amazed to know. Nobody can stand that. These people are not good and pure. You have to be good and pure. You cannot show ill will against anybody in this world. No way. Even to the Shudra, the lower caste, the dogs also. People treat people. Today in India, there is a movie which is doing the rounds, which even our ex-Chief Justice of India, he was ruling on the Sabrimala issue. He is recommending this movie. The Great Indian Kitchen or something is the name. That movie is nothing but promotion for some political group. You can make it out. Don't get carried away by this kind of things. Just because somebody says something doesn't mean that that is correct. Just a small background. Kerala is a matriarchal society where a woman is given more prominence and importance. Now, in that society, they have shown a woman treated very badly. Now, this is only a politically motivated film. Please understand this. It is not real. Imagine, you take one-off stories from somewhere. Somebody is burnt somewhere in some village and you make a big film out of it. And people get carried away just because of that. Don't get carried away by this kind of propaganda. Okay? And just a side note that was. So, women, they also have to be given respect. Today's day and age in Kali Yuga, you can't be deriding women constantly. Every day I see men talking in a very derogatory fashion about a woman. No. Krishna says you need to respect them. Give them their due. Then you can also give them that knowledge. The idea is that everybody should be treated equally. That is what Krishna is talking about. We are going to the next verse. We are doing chapter 24 of the Uddhav Gita, verse 32. After knowing this, an aspirant has nothing more to know. One who has drunk the delicious nectar has craving for no other drinks. Now Krishna is saying, I have given you such beautiful knowledge. What else do you want from me? I have always, this is the best, the highest knowledge ever. The knowledge of Brahma and how to reach me. If I have given you this understanding of the subject, you know how to reach me. Single pointed devotion, absolute faith, surrender to the will of Krishna. See, an unconditional love at the end of the day. Why? That is the way of reaching Krishna. Become dispassionate in life. You don't have to be completely engrossed in your material worldly work every day in and out. Detachment. Be detached from everybody. Why are you so much attached to people, family, this, that, relatives, properties, this? Just leave it. Doesn't matter. And then the last one, discriminate. Everything is unreal. Even your body is unreal. Only Krishna is real. That is it. Krishna is real. God is real. Rest everything is unreal. Know this. So we go to the next verse. My friend, that is, we are doing Uddhav Gita, chapter 24, verse 33. My friend, I am to you all that fourfold gain, the whole of it, that people obtain from knowledge, work, yoga, economics and politics. You see, when I say these words to my devotees, my disciples, they actually don't understand what I speak. I have told them this all the time. Everything that you need to know, that is the knowledge of this world. The knowledge of Brahma. The work that you do, the path of work that you do, that is your swadharma. Whatever dharma that you have, whatever job that you are doing, whatever work that you do in this world, the yoga, the devotion to God, oneness with the divine, the economic activity, the money, power, whatever that goes along with the economic activity. You may be a powerful person in this world or you may be a very weakling, whereas the material world is concerned. Economically, you may be a very rich person or economically you will be a poor person. That knowledge. And then about political things. Krishna is the master of politics. Please understand this. When he says certain words, you have to listen to them very, very carefully. Because he is not just giving you knowledge, he is making a political statement as well. Political statement doesn't mean he is going to talk about politics and the Indian this thing and all. No. He is not politically correct. Because in the material world, when you operate, you have to be politically correct. You cannot become impolite to people. Now let us say you have a function in your family. Politically, you have to put this across because you want certain people to come, those who are good, and you don't want certain people you don't want them to come. How do you talk to them? Talking to them also is an art. You have to put your words so perfectly that those whom you want, they will come. And those whom you feel are the most biased and absolutely uncouth kind of people, you can avoid them. So your talk has to be very political. Krishna does very great political talk. So he says, all these fourfold gains, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the fourfold gains, that these are called the purusharth. You need to have this. So if you have understood this knowledge, your purusharth is there. All the four things that you have come in this world for are gained by you. Don't worry about it. You have gained them. If you have learned this lesson, all these lessons that I have been giving in the Uddhav Gita, last so many months that you have been listening in, then this has come to you. All the Purusharth has come to you. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. Everything that will reach you. Then he says, for people to obtain knowledge, this has been given to you so that you can obtain the knowledge, the work that you do, Swadharma, Yoga, oneness with me, economics, the money that you need, the way in which you live, the job, your business or whatever. See, sometimes it may so happen that people may lose their job, people may not have their jobs and they may be feeling inadequate. Oh, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Don't worry. Do you believe in Krishna or your spiritual master, whichever it might be? Then why are you bothered? It is Krishna's job to give you a job or a business or whatever. It is his duty to give you everything. Are you completely devoted to him? Then all these four things, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, they will come to you just like that. Today you may be operating at zero level. Don't bother your head about it. Everything will come to you. This is the promise he is giving over here. See, all these fourfold gains are going to be there. So economically you will be okay. He's not going to give you like Bill Gates and all that money. If you get that kind of a money, you're finished. You're not going to be with him. He's going to give you sufficient, what is required. And politics. He is going to clean your path of all the dirty people. All the politicians who are creating all the trouble for you, he's just going to sweep them away. Alright, so I hope you have understood this chapter. It's a very beautiful chapter. Now, we have just, I think, tomorrow and day after tomorrow. Alright, only 2 days left of the satsang. I think then it will be over. The Uddhav Gita will be over. We will be doing Tuesday the Bhagavad Gita. The Bhagavad Gita will be then continued on all the days whenever I am around. And I will finish off the Bhagavad Gita. And then we are going on to another different kind of a chapter. It's not going to be based on a book or something like that. It's going to be completely different. So you will have to await that when it happens. Okay. I will be definitely available on podcasts as well as YouTube and various other channels. So wherever you wish to hear me, see me, I will be there. But the direct satsangs live will not be there. No live satsangs, because all these will be recorded and put up whenever the time is there in my hand. So I will stop over here at verse 33 and then I will continue from verse 34 onwards tomorrow. You take care. Have a great day. See y'all. Bye.